Today we'll start an interesting poem, Your World. This poem is written by Georgia Douglas Johnson. My name is Sudipto, so I will let you know everything about this poem. Before the beginning of the poem, we'll know a little bit about this famous poet. Georgia Blanche Douglas Camp Johnson, better known as Georgia Douglas Johnson, was an African American poet. She was one of the earliest African American female playwrights who was born as Georgia Blanche Douglas Camp in 1880 in Atlanta, Georgia. Her famous literary works include The Heart of a Woman, Bronze, A Sunday Morning in the South, Plume, and so on. Now we'll know about the poem. We'll discuss the theme of the poem and we'll discuss a little summary of the poem. The poem is about self-discovery that leads to a new world of feeling, acting and living in ways you never thought were possible before. The poet likens herself to a little bird who is conditioned by some limitations such as the feelings of inferiority and fear. Actually, in this poem, the poet has used the bird as a metaphor. But soon she realizes that there is a world of endless possibilities out there that beckons her. Finally, the poet decides herself to overcome all those adverse circumstances that restrains her to achieve her goals and feels free and overjoyed. The poem ends in an encouraging way. Throughout this poem, the poet tries to convey her message to its readers to follow their passion, to conquer all those barriers in selecting their best possible lives. Now, we'll discuss the line-by-line explanation of the poem. But before this, you should know the meaning of the following words, such as here you can see abide means stick to or accept, and my wings pressing close to my side. This line refers to the goal which is impossible to reach. Now we'll read the poem. Your World by Georgia Douglas Johnson. Your world is as big as you make it. The first line tells us that we shouldn't limit our world by our thinking. We should expand our world by our works. And the poet tells us as the narrator that she is used to certain lives where she is being limited to the uttermost possibilities of her life, and she has confined her world by the narrowest side of his house, or she is being confined to her homely atmosphere and is not able to cross those barriers of his atmosphere or his nature, and he wishes to go beyond her imagination, wishes to go beyond her possibilities of life. My wings pressing close to my side. In this line, the poet wishes to exclaim that he has several tasks to do, but she herself has limited her thinking by suppressing his desires of heart, and for those reasons she is unable to fulfill her goals of life. Now we'll read the next stanza. But I sighted the distant horizon where the skyline encircled the sea, and I throbbed with a burning desire to travel this immensity. So in this stanza, in the second stanza, the poet wishes to expand his desires. He wishes to observe at the distant horizon, and she wishes to fulfill her desires. He wishes to look at the world which is across her house, and now she is determined to express her innermost feelings to achieve the things or to achieve her goals with his strong passion of the heart. And by this way she wishes to attain the goal of her life. Here cited means observe, throbbed means sound with regular rhythm, and burning desire refers to extremely strong will or passion. This is used here as a metaphor. Metaphor is a kind of figure of speech which relates to the unsimilar object to its similar possible way. Now we'll read the last stanza of the poem. I battered the cordons around me and cradled my wings on the breeze, then soared to the uttermost reaches with rapture, with power, with ease. So here the poet tells us that she will break all the limitations, she will cross all the barriers of her life, and she will be living as a patient woman who is determined to fulfill all the possibilities of her life. And by this, after attaining her goals, he will feel extremely happy and will be in comfort forever. Here the word that is battered means broken, cordons means barriers, cradled means hold gently and protectively, and soared means fly or rise high in the air, or it means stimulated. Rapture means extreme joy. So I hope you students have understood this poem extremely well. Now we'll discuss a little analysis of this poem. Everyone has his or her own little world, and each of them is unique. The poem Your World by Georgia Douglas Johnson indicates the message of how you can expand your world by achieving goals and not giving up. The poet Georgia Douglas Johnson uses symbols such as wings and horizon to represent life and the goal of a person that he wants to achieve. She illustrates how the goal is impossible to reach in the first stanza with the phrase my wings pressing close to my side. In the second stanza, the horizon, which relates to goal, is visible and the person tries to reach it, but sighted. Burning desire. Then in the last stanza, the poet demonstrates how a person succeeds in reaching his or her goal and cradled my wings to the uttermost reaches. These three stages indicates the poet herself and her own experiences. Notice she uses I and my in the poem. The poet also shows how wonderful it is to succeed a goal. Furthermore, the author's word choice strongly influences the audience, such as throb, cradled, soar, rapture, power, and ease. These words choices are strong and easy to picture. As you read the poem, you will realize that the poem is written in free verse form and thus there is no exact rhythm. So that's all, students. Now the poet is trying to send the reader a message of expanding your world and never hesitate. The tone that the author uses in this poem is sincere yet spirited. She started from encouraging the reader that your world is as big as you make it, then tells her own experiences in a splendid and inspiring way. The devices and language the poet used is very effective that brings the reader into the poem. So that's all, students. That's the poem all about, and if you want to know anything else, just type your answer or question in the comment section and let us know about the problems that you are facing about. So have a great day, students. Thank you.